On the 29th of October, France was attacked. It is now passing a bill to regulate Islam. On the 2nd of November, Vienna was attacked. It is now proposing anti-terrorism measures. Both the European countries are looking at regulating imams, and both the laws will be tabled next month. And while the promptness is commendable, there would have been no need for these laws had Europe not waited for terror to strike. These are not quote-unquote preventive measures. These are reactions. The fight against terrorism cannot be a reflex action. What countries need to do is get to the root of the problem, to understand where the problem stems from. I'm talking about terror states, governments that use terrorism as a state policy tool. The likes of Pakistan, it is time to call them out and to cut ties with them. And it is here that the world needs to apply maximum pressure. Put the machinery we have to use. The FATF, Financial Action Task Force, use it. The United Nations Security Council, put it to some good use. Do you know why we have not been able to fight terrorism yet? Because state sponsors of terror are sitting on crucial panels of world bodies, and they are being re-elected for new terms. In 2018, 33,000 people lost their lives to terrorism the world over. The total number of terror attacks, 8,000 in 1 year. 2 years later, the world re-elected the biggest terror exporter to the United Nations Human Rights Council, Pakistan. 169 countries voted for it. So here's something that these 169 countries should know. Terrorism knows no boundaries. And India made this very clear to Europe during Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla's visit to Germany earlier this month. Countries exporting terror must be held accountable. Those supporting such countries also need to be pulled up. The likes of Turkey, the likes of China. Throw in the terror apologists too, the likes of Mahathir Mohamad of Malaysia, Imran Khan, Recep Tayyip Erdogan. What will the world do with anti-terror financing agencies if some of its members cast a blind eye to terror and even back terror groups? Do you really think the 9/11 attacks would have been possible without Riyadh's knowledge? Or the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks without Pakistan's support? The same Pakistan continues to provide a safe haven to Lashkar-e-Toiba terrorists. This month, we've completed 12 years since the Mumbai attacks. And what has the world done to punish Pakistan? So when the leaders of Europe meet on Friday, here's something they should note. Austria will not be able to shut out terror just by closing some mosques. It needs to close the door on the states funding the radical infrastructure. The same applies to France. Between 2016 December and 2018 August, France shut down 20 mosques. They were suspected of preaching a radical interpretation of Islam. Did that prevent terror attacks on French soil? France saw nearly 30 attacks between 2016 and 2020. Like I said, fighting terrorism is not all that simple. No register on imams, no lock on prayer houses will be able to solve the problem completely. There were 3 commonalities between the 3 young men who recently attacked France. All of them were young, all of them were isolated, and all were self-radicalized. It was not just the work of radical imams in some mosques. It also happened on the internet. The world needs to account for the changing nature of terror. Look out for states that are radicalizing youth through social media, states that create an environment of hate in the name of religion. A French magazine republished some cartoons. The Pakistani Prime Minister gave hateful speeches. Next thing we know, there were terror attacks in Paris. One of the terrorists, Zahir Hassan Mahmood, was a Pakistani immigrant. He had watched videos of protesters brandishing knives in response to the Charlie Hebdo cartoons. Then he went to buy a butcher knife and he went on a stabbing spree. If after all of this, European leaders continue to look inwards only, then they can go on legislating for as long as they want to. If they don't get to the root of the problem, if they don't curb terror funding, if they don't strike at state sponsors of terrorism, they'll not make much headway in fighting Islamism. Thank you for watching Gravitas on WION's YouTube channel. If you want to stay up to date with what's happening around the world, then subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like and share. Thank you very much for watching WION. World is One.